Welcome to Rom Wills Money Matters. People not working may cause long-term problems. Now, this week, I was talking about hustling in the gig economy and that there's plenty of jobs. And one of the things that even inspired me to do the Plenty of Jobs podcast I did yesterday was the fact that there's so many jobs out here people don't want to work. And that's a big problem. It ain't that the jobs aren't there. A lot of people don't want to work. Like, I got friends at grocery stores around where I live, retail places, the gym, and all I'm hearing from people, whether they work there or not, or people familiar with the situation, people don't want to get these jobs. People don't want to work in some of these factories fixing a couch or putting a couch together, or it's like a lot of small stuff. People don't want to do it. And a big reason is, they're getting this extra unemployment. They're getting some more money from being unemployed. But they ain't thinking long term. And the thing is, people not working will cause long-term problems. Because, see, here's how it works. When people work, when they have money, what do they do with it? They spend it. Okay, like say somebody has a good job. They're making... Nowadays, used to be, I would say, a few years ago, I say 50, which is still more than 75% of the population make. I'm going to say 75 now. We got to put that up. All right. So say somebody's making 75. Okay. They get them a good place to live. It can be an apartment, condo, or a house. All right. They need a TV. Boom. They spending money there. They need food, so they definitely hitting up the grocery stores. They might want to wear some clothing and stuff, some like fly clothing or decent clothing. Boom. A car. Boom. Gas for the car. Boom. Or even, I don't know about the electric car. Somebody tell me if they charge money for those charging stations. Somebody tell me. I haven't had to use one, so I hadn't thought about it. But whatever the case, you still got to pay money for that car. So it's like, well, wait a minute. But in order to, you need money to pay for all of this. All right. Now people say, well, long term, people making money with this unemployment. What happens when it runs out? Because see, here's the problem. Okay, you got all these businesses. They can't get anybody to work in their businesses. Therefore, they being slow about producing stuff. All right. They being slow because they only got a few people to produce it. That actually hurts their business because then people start looking around for products or stuff that they can get quicker. And then those businesses, they don't make money. They don't make any money. So what happens when a business don't make money? They got to cut back. So they go from a place of needing workers to they can't afford workers. Boom. They can't afford workers. They not putting more money into the economy. They not paying taxes. They ain't paying taxes, which, of course, goes towards public works. It goes towards paying government workers. Oh, it's a lot to it. It could affect the school system there. If these businesses go out, okay, that's a problem. Like in the area I live in, there's a lot of empty stores. Like in my local mall, there's a lot of empty stores. And I'm seeing that, and this is a fairly affluent zip code. Yet I'm still seeing some empty places. Now, if you got empty stores, that means whoever makes the products that go into those stores can't put them in. They don't have a place that they can sell it easy. Because some products, you could just ship it or something, and that's cool. But what if you have larger products? That don't technically you can ship them, but people might want to see them. Like there was a cycling place in my had motorcycles and 3-wheelers, all of that stuff. They out of business. So whoever makes those cycles that go into those places, they got one less place to sell it. And then if they have one less place to sell it, that affects their bottom line. Boom. And every one area touches another area. So all of a sudden, it's not even so much you don't have the jobs, but people ain't taking the jobs, but because people aren't not spending their money in such a way, boom, And then guess what happens? Yeah, you got some people living high on a hog. They feeling good getting these federal benefits. It's going to run out. In fact, roughly 20 or so Republican-controlled states had already said we're cutting those benefits. Now, I know in the state of Maryland, the Republican governor, tried to cut the benefits, and the judge overruled them. But they still got to get cut at some point. And then, these guys, we got to get a job. But what if the job ain't there? Yeah, I said plenty of jobs yesterday, right now. But see, when a business goes down, they got to start laying off people. They're not making as much money. And then even if they try to get started again, like, okay, you had a lot of restaurants that opened back up, after the lockdowns were over. But they couldn't hire everybody back right away. Now, what if it took some time, or they just in the wrong place and they can't get the money that they once did? Boom. Yeah, see what I'm saying? And see, all of this is people aren't working now. See, we need people to work now while there are jobs. We need people to get out there. We need people to get off their ass and think long term, not short term. Because I'll say this to anybody. Benefits are short term. Unless you want like some supplemental Social Security or some other government handout or something. Yeah, I'm going to say handout. You're in trouble. And if you notice, even people who getting that, they don't get enough. So how they going to sustain stuff? See, any economy is sustained by people spending money. You got to have consumers. You got to have stuff. Somebody has to pay for the product. But see, people not working, a lot of them ain't fueling like the businesses they need to be fueling. So it's a lot. And we not even going to get into like, you know what, on this channel, I ain't even going to talk about I don't even want to talk about the situation where rents due. Well, I'm going to say this. I'm going to go off this tangent real quick. I know it has nothing to do with it, but you got a lot of landlords being hurt by it, and I'll leave it at that. I might discuss it later. I might or might not. But they going to be hurt by it. In fact, you know what? I am going to discuss it because it's important. It's a money matter. It's a money matter. So I'm going to discuss it next week. But for now, though, like these people not working and they sitting and they probably spending on some fun stuff. Okay. But then what happens when it's time to get the job, but it might not be there because the businesses couldn't maintain themselves because they didn't have enough workers to take care of orders, bill stuff. Like I mentioned yesterday, I'm getting a couch, But I had to look around for a place that actually had one in stock because they tell you, like, a lot of times you get a couch and, they got to specially make them and everything. I was being told 6 months. 6 months. So I'm like, wait a minute. This way just to make the couch, And it's getting worse. I had somebody else tell me, it was something that was needed for a swimming pool. Somebody had a swimming pool built, but there was something needed for the pool that they haven't been able to put in yet since March. Something. They said some type of plaster or something. I don't know how they make pools or how they do that, but there's no one to make the plaster. I think that's what they said. If somebody's familiar with how they put the pools together, please enlighten us. But when he said that, I was like, because... they ain't have enough. The business didn't have enough people to do it, or at least right away. So they get backed up. Like a lot of these businesses, they still doing stuff, but they doing it with fewer people, so it's taking longer. And see, some people might think everything is all good while, they're getting these government benefits. But what happens when they run out? The job that they say, oh, well, we'll get the job then, it might not be there. There's a lot of stuff. I'm just going to be real. Manage your money well. Now, I don't care. And it don't matter who's the president. It don't matter what they say, what they do. Because ultimately an economy is its own thing. At best, a president, regardless Republican, Democrat, Independent, most they can do is enact policies to help people to keep it going. But ultimately it's up to the people. All right? So it might cause something. And look, always end with let's make that money. I'm going to change it up. Let's manage that money. Let's manage that money. For this one, I'm gonna say let's manage that money because everything happening is not looking good. There's gonna have to be a major change to keep the bottom from falling out. All right. So anyway, let's manage that money, y'all. Keep it, get it in that savings. Seriously, I'm not liking what I'm seeing. So anyway, I talk to y'all. Peace and blessings.